Yo, what's up my one-ohs? You know what I'm saying? We're back for another litty one. This one I kind of wanted to do for you guys on cam, because I kind of want to walk you guys through the journey that I go on with these guns, because you guys a lot of the time link me at the sites and you're not seeing these bits and bobs and things like that. So we're going to start off by saying welcome to another Yardman 9 custom video. Today I'm dealing with one of my bad boys. I really appreciate this gun. I've been on a up and down journey with it to get to a stage where I'm currently happy with the gun. I'm only doing basic changes today. I've got 2 new goodies. You know what I'm saying? I don't really want to say too much, but the long and short of it is I basically want to just push my DMR to the stage where I don't have to do anything to it. I just have to maintain it, change my bucking every so often, clean my barrel every so often, etc. So it's why I'm doing these 2 things. These are 2 parts after my long journey with M4s. I've come to learn that these are the last 2 things that I need to do, apart from the other stuff that I've done, to get something that's optimum level. I wanted to build something that's good, but not so good that a rubbish player can be sick with the weapon. I want something that you actually have to be a good player to be good with it, which is basically why I built what I built. I don't even want to speak too heavily on what it is, etc., what's in there, but I just found M4 I was happy with. Gave it a spring setup I was happy with, gave it a barrel setup I was happy with, changed out the motor to a 25k motor. I still want to upgrade that because there's a lot more motors on the market that could potentially get me something that's a DMR that can compete with HPAs and things like that. But these are things that maybe further down the line I'll do. I think at the moment this thing shoots between 40 and 60 meters, give or take, depending on what weight I use. It's reliable. It's lasted 2 summers. It just works. Like, to be fair, this is the workhorse of my M4s at the moment. You guys have seen my journey on the channel of having different weapons, programmable gearboxes, you name it, I've had it. But I wanted to just get to a stage where, like I said, there was something that, as much as I'm a pistol man, there's something that when going out to what's it called, skirmish walk-ons or anything like that, day walk-on sessions, I could chuck it in the bag, and when I'm tired of running around the map sliding everywhere, I can just go shoulder something and take my shots type thing. So this gun has been good to me. Like I said, I'm not gonna heavily speak on what I've done, etc. You can see I've done little customizations to my weapon to make it custom to me. Big up man like Airsoft Cowboy for blessing me on the decals. He actually nice to me with the Punisher decals. Holler your boy if you want to get any custom jobs with the Punisher thing. I kind of did it for him, so big up Airsoft Cowboy for that. Yeah, essentially all I've done is taken my lower down from my upper, removed my barrel, taken off things like my catch, removed my mag, and then I've taken out this section because this is essentially what we'll be working on today. There's further things I do want to do, like potentially putting this spring on. I don't currently want to use this just because, and I'll show you quickly, I don't want to currently use this just because I feel like this hop up currently works really well with this basic ass spring on there. Now I have a rule: when you upgrade something, change something, develop something, it must perform as good as, with a benefit of 10 to 20% at least. And I have this rule just because as a tech, I build a lot of stuff. I have built a lot of stuff over the time of me teching. And what I found is there's sometimes we talk about upgrades and realistically they're not upgrades. And I can honestly say this with chest, because there's times when I first came into the M4 field, I spent a lot of money extending barrels. Yes, it upped velocity, but I didn't get the distance I was looking for. It was when I shortened barrels, then started changing out other things like hop rubbers and fine tuning hop up systems and stuff like that, that I ended up getting results that I wanted with things that have half the length or quarter the length of the barrels I was originally buying. So I think there's this idea around teching your stuff, whether it's a pistol or rifle, that just throw bare money into it, and it really just doesn't work like that. Every gun is very different in terms of the way the if it's electric, the way the gears are set up, the way the wiring is set up, the way the programmability is set up, the way the trigger is. Some of them, especially nowadays, have a lot of functionality, from active braking back to burst, back to binary, all of these things there. So I think you have to pick something that works for you. For me, for example, this gearbox is not programmable. I would love to eventually step this gun up to a stage where it is, but at this stage I just don't need the programmability. So the save on the battery life, as well as, because I have an electric trigger unit in here, though it isn't a programmable one, things like active braking is built in, and that's why I've matched it with a decent 25k motor, so that I have that reliability to just keep on going and keep on going. One of the ideas I originally said at the start of the video that I'm planning on doing to the lower is still upgrading the motor to something like T238, because they've got like a 35k and if I'm correct, I think it's 47k motor, which I think strapped with this gearbox, once I upgrade the piston setup, I will definitely, this thing will just be flawless. It will just be right where I want it. So at the moment I'm doing the current upgrades because I feel like at this stage where I feel like the gun's performing, I don't feel like it necessarily needs an upgrade. Essentially, I'm just testing to see things on the market that people... Can I say people? I'm gonna say the community. Things that the community, as well as engineers of the community, are saying will up the performance on a gun. I would like to see, number one, if that is correct, because then in theory what should happen is I should see a benefit, like I said, in my performance of the weapon, because I've gamed this gun for 2 summers. I've done my little basic little upgrades and things, but realistically I haven't done a lot to it enough to say, oh, it's because I've spent mad money. Be better than me, treat your guns better than me. I'm not probably doing this in the best techie way, but it's my things, so I can afford to treat it how I treat it. The stuff that I do tech service for other people, I probably will, not even probably, I definitely will do pay a lot more attention. And to be fair, I'm not doing bad. I'm not doing anything mad, crazy. It's just, if I was watching this video, I might be like, he's handling his shit a bit harsh. Don't be worried, because even this bucking is a good bucking, man, and it's only been in there maybe a month or 2, but it's treated me well, so on to the next. And I think I might hold on to this one just... Oh, I thought that was a rip in the bucking for a second, but it's a hair. Don't know how a hair has got into my bucking. Maybe it's one of my hairs one of the nights when I'm taking it, but yeah, I don't know what's going on there. I'm probably not gonna clean the barrel. I kind of want to be biased to this because the barrel ain't mad dirt, like ain't dirty. Few dust particles, but I feel like that's more where the gun sits and gets carried around and loosely is just chilling in my space. So I'm gonna start with the bucking straight off top, because essentially what I've got to do, let me just put my barrel to a side for a sec. Essentially what I've got to do is remove that slit. So I'll do it now quickly and show you guys. This video probably looks a bit mad, but this video is for my Patreoners and my people who really trying to learn. So essentially what you want to do is, cause this bucking from Quantum or 4Quantum or whatever they're called comes with its own nub, you also want to remove this top section off your hop up unit, because that's essentially where your nub sits. So once this bit comes up right there, there's a nub that sits underneath in this cutout right there, which you will see in 2 seconds. Just sitting at the top right there. And there it is. You want to replace that one, because that one will work, but that one is built to work with the current system that's in there. Whereas I just have this belief, like some may not agree with me, but I have this belief, if you're gonna change a system, change the whole system, especially if it's a company that sends like a bucking and a nub, or a hop up and a rubber. Like, you might want to run your own thing, but I always say, I just have this rule in it, like especially them companies, because there's guys who come to me with custom stuff and they might come with the bucking that comes with a rubber. No, the bucking that comes, no, a hop up that comes with a bucking, but they might buy their own bucking, say from Maple Leaf or whoever. And I always say to them, like, some people take the advice, some people don't, but I always say to them, like, why don't you try this bucking in there first and hold on to your new Maple Leaf or whatever it is, 4Quantum or whoever it is, do you know what I'm saying, bucking, and try that over time. If you're not happy with this performance, we can test it out. And you know, the ones who do tend to try the advice I give them, what you tend to find is they end up not coming back to change the bucking. I probably only had one guy who's came back and been like, oh, let me try the other one just so I can see, and even listen to what he said, just so I can see. So do you get what I'm trying to say? It's like often the company matches the two because they've done the hard work for you. So when you then go and try your own custom work, you have to be careful. I'm not gonna say it's always wise for somebody like me, where I spend a lot of hours testing things and trying things and all these things. It's wise, try it, because then you will learn. Sometimes you end up with a better setup, but you then have to end up doing other work that the company has already fixed for you. Like, you might have to change a barrel length because you've changed the bucking, or you might have to go tight bore, whereas your original barrel wasn't tight bore, and you have to do these things naturally just because you're now removing part of the solution that they've done. So I'll give you an example. I've got a mate, just before I start this build, I've got a mate who bought the full setup from Maple Leaf for a hop up, for a high capper. It came with the hop up, the bucking, all of that, basically the hop up, bucking and barrel, all of it connected, all assembled, done for you. He decided to then buy another bucking when he bought that setup, with the ideas to take it down himself and replace it. Now, he done the job fine, but the setup just wasn't working well for him, and it's because he changed out a bucking without understanding if it would work with the barrel setup and the hop up setup that he bought, basically. Now, in the end, we ended up keeping the hop up, changing out the barrel, and keeping his new bucking that he bought. But do you see what I'm trying to say? You if you're gonna buy something, do your research heavily, so it's what you want to buy first off the top. That's one thing I'll say with airsoft, because these things are pricey. You don't want to have to buy 4 or 5 things when you can just buy the one thing. Do you get what I'm saying? But I will definitely say, if you do choose to change something out, be willing to go through the fine-tune process, because like I said, I have this rule. If I'm gonna change something out, let's say I watched the video and the guy bought the hop up setup I'm talking about, and he got 40 meters, for example, out of his pistol. If I go and change something out and my gun is only shooting 20 meters, and that's the maximum I'm getting distance, I can't blame the company. It's my job to blame myself, because I changed something out. If I used exactly their setup and then got the 20 meters, then I can have my complaints, right? But if I change something out, you can only complain up to a certain place. Even my videos, if you watch these things, I often say this: I did do this, so it might be because of that. And then if you watched following videos of the same, when I'm out with the same weapon or something, you'll hear me re-comment, oh, I changed that out. So, oh guys, you see, you do have to come to a fine tuning. Like with 95% of the weapons I've owned, this is what I've had to do, and it's just because I've chose to change something. So I've come to learn nowadays. Say I buy something, I utilize it. I try to utilize it at least for 3 to 6 months. Sometimes I fail that mission because I just like changing stuff, but I try to utilize stuff for 3 to 6 months before I change anything, because by the time you go to change something like this gun, I've gamed it for 2 years and I have a good understanding of it. After 3,000 shots, my grip starts to heat up. That's why I upgraded the motor. That's why I changed out my grip style as well. So the way it releases air and heat is very different. I didn't like the way that the original stock setup, it had like an alien stock setup. I couldn't shoulder that comfortably. Every game it was annoying me. I couldn't shoulder as quick as other people could, so I was dying against other opponents, but the gun was amazing. I switched it out. It's why you see me with this kind of CQB style speed softer setup, even though yeah, it looks a bit budge, but this is on its own journey in itself. I was happy with the distance that I got, so I left the barrel length, but I made adjustments to things like what barrel I used, or what bucking it was strapped next to, because the bucking I originally got in this gun was like some cheap ass. To be fair, it worked really well. I got 30 meters comfortably out of the gun, but the thing was mad cheap. And when I did my research, I felt like it was mad cheap because it done its job and that's all it did. Do you know what I'm saying? Which it wasn't a bad bucking. I will say that it wasn't a bad bucking at all. 30 meters comfortably, but for a DMR, come on man, give me a little 40 or a little 50 or something, push it. And that's what I wanted. What I found myself wanting the more I utilize this weapon, which is why I'm doing all these adjustments, etc. But without further ado, let me get into the work, because we can sit here and talk for hours. So I'm gonna chuck this bucking on. Normally I'd grease a bucking, but what I'm gonna do is, because they're claiming their bucking is amazing, I'm not gonna grease it. Plus my barrel is fairly greasy, so I'm not gonna grease it, but averagely I'd grease it. You wanna look for that line on your barrel. And to be fair, y'all should know all of this anyway. So at this stage, if you're watching this video, you should know what's happening anyway. But you want to look for the line on the barrel, look for the line on the bucking, line them up, slide them over each other. If you do not do that, it ain't gonna work. So you gotta do that, guys. Don't just slide it on. You actually have to look for that little line in the middle right there, and look for the line on the bucking. And if you can see, the line on my bucking is seating with the line right there. So that's my first bit. Then I literally want to take my bucking and my barrel and turn my hop up over, and I want to take that line and line it up with the lining, the center lining on this. This is a bit faint on this one. Normally it's a bit more clearer, but I can see it, so it's fairly easy for me. And you want to push that all the way down. Now I'm gonna secure my barrel first, because if I don't secure my barrel, I'm just gonna keep on having the movement you just see happen. So I'm gonna take this little section here. And there's a reason why I'm doing it in this format, because some people I know would disagree with me and be like, oh, you should have done that first. But there's a reason. Y'all all see. Method to the madness. So I'm gonna chuck that over there. Make sure it lines up. Make sure it clips in place. Make sure it's in line with the barrel. You wanna give the barrel a little wobble, teeny wobble. Don't pull it too hard. And you wanna hold the side off that thing that you've just clipped in place, because the whole aim is you're trying to get flush with the hop up. So if it's not flush, that's why you're doing that little wobble, because sometimes you need to hear it kind of click in place. I don't know if you heard it when I did it, but it kind of clicked in place. Essentially what that does is it gives you a structure where now your barrel and your bucking is somewhat, it's not as secure as it should be, but it's somewhat connected into the system. It's why now I can release it, whereas before I had to hold and it would slide in everywhere. So that's why you do that, just to make your life a bit more easier. Plus it centers off everything. Then I'm gonna take my rubber. The one thing with the rubber, okay, no, I know what it is. So it looks like the same rubber from the gas blowback system, so it kind of threw me for a sec, but The more I look at it, I think the sizing is a little different. And even if it is the same, it wouldn't work the same, because obviously the bucking shape and size and even technology is slightly different. Give me 1 sec, I just want to see if I've done it the right way. Okay, yes I have. So then you want to put this tool right over it, and you kind of want it to grip over the top, because obviously there's 2 sides of that little knob. Then you want to put the pin back in. It might take a bit of fiddling, because the pin has to go through one side, go through that little knob thing that we just showed you, and then go back through the other side. It might take a little time for you to get there. It can be a bit frustrating in the beginning, but bear with it, because you don't want to force anything and break anything. I can see that I basically got it, so I'm going to apply some force, put that through, and like you can see, that side is now done. I'm going to start reassemblement of my hop up, just so I have a functional hop up again. So my wheel goes back on. I'm going to align my knob to my wheel. Boom. You'll find it easier if you just turn the wheel off. So that was another thing I should have said to you guys in the beginning. You want the wheel to be off, because you can break things by turning the like taking the system down while the knob, your hop up's on. But that's a whole nother video. If you guys want that video, give me a like, share, and give me a comment as well, and I'll do a separate video on that, because that's a whole nother thing in itself. A lot of people don't understand how to upgrade their products and care for them as they upgrade it, because you can do damage while you're upgrading things, and often this is why you get decline in performance, or performance that's not as high as it should be, if that makes sense. So that's the first side done. The hop up and the knob is in there. At my next game day, I shall give you guys feedback on that. Like I said before, I know before I used to get 40 meters, so yeah, we'll see how we get on. Now I lost, there's normally a ring that goes in there, but I lost that. That essentially cuts down the air seal, or well, it cuts down the air leakage. This system comes with some O-rings and a knob, like a plastic version of that same knob to cut down the air leakage. So I'm gonna chuck a few O-rings, maybe 2. Let's see if we can get away with 2. Let me see how 1 works first, because 2 looks like it might just be a bit too much. End up ripping my glove. It's like that. So I'm gonna try 1 first and see, and then if I can fit 2 and still have a little bit of leverage. This is the ring I was talking about. So normally there's that little ring, and what it does is help seat the barrel inside the hop up, because there's like a little gap in there, as you can see, and it cuts down the air leakage. But what I'm gonna try and do today is do that with the upgrade system that I bought. So let's give this a go. I think 1 might be the perfect amount, you know. Yeah, looks like 1 might be the perfect amount. Actually seats pretty nice, to be fair. Kind of got me wanting to put some electric tape over it as well, just to kind of extra secure it. But yeah, that's the other side of the upgrade. I think just for my sake of mental peace, I'm gonna chuck some electric tape around it. Or if not electric tape, I'm gonna at least chuck plumbing tape. Just the teeniest bit, because I like things to be extra secure. And something like plumbing tape should also cut down the air leakage, where that's its whole purpose, in it, to secure whatever it's wrapped around or whatnot. So yeah, I'm gonna chuck maybe a layer or two and we'll see how we get on. But to be honest, even without it, you probably don't have to do this. And maybe don't be like me and straight off rip do this, because the whole point of this upgrade system is to stop you having to worry about this. I'm only doing this because as secure as that system feels, let me just take that off for a sec. As secure as that system feels, it just had me feeling a bit nervous that, say my barrel had any kind of movement, that thing might just spin, and I don't really want that to take place inside my inner barrel. So if I assist it with this, the hope is that that doesn't happen, and if it does, it minimizes, when that does happen, how much impact or effect that has. So yeah, probably not the prettiest system, but it does feel more secure than it did. I'm trying to set my hook back to what it was before. So straight off rip, as soon as I shoot the gun at distance, I can see what it's meant to be. Give stuff like this a brief little clean up. As you can see, there's a bit of grease build up, dust build up, whatever. And look at that, how much dust come off. Crazy. So yeah, I always say this anyway, normally in the gas blowback videos, when you upgrade, is the time you want to maintain things as well. If you just keep upgrading and chucking dirty parts with new parts, you're just going to damage your new stuff faster. So an old grease gets a chance to sit on new stuff. But yeah, so that's all done now. Let me clean up my workspace so it's easier to focus. But yeah, today's video was just mainly a quick one, like, because I was going to upgrade the DMR, and every time I take this bad boy out, people always like, oh, what have you got in it and how does that work and whatnot. So I was like, oh, maybe I just need to do more videos when I'm upgrading things, what I did and what I put in it and whatnot, so that when they see it, they know the gun, just like they do know the gun, but they've answered their own questions, if that makes sense. So I've only used one O-ring, which means I've got 4 more, which I probably will just hold on to, probably come in very handy if I ever have to adjust this system or change something, or, do you get what I'm saying, upgrade something or maintain something. So I'm going to put that to one side. Yeah, I'm going to put that to one side for this gun. Like I said, clean up my little workspace a little, put the tools that I don't need anymore to one side. And one thing I will say, I want to see them likes, I want to see them shares, I want to see them subscribers, peeps. Keep the love flowing, I appreciate it. Because I'll be trying to show you guys as much as I can, from gameplay back down to things like this when I'm just working on my own project. So yeah, that does feel good. It even looks a bit better. I like that little orange thing. I haven't even shot the gun, but I can feel it already. When I do an FPS check, I will keep you updated whether I've lost FPS, because this thing normally gives me anything from 290-ish back to, well, maybe about 275-ish back to, I think the top FPS I've got out of this is maybe like 320, 330, 340 tops. And some may say, oh, but you're bragging it up, but I'm getting 50, 60 meters comfortably. It shoots 40 meters like 40 meters is 10 meters away. It's actually quite funny. When I let people shoot this, they're quite shocked how I'm getting that distance. Even when I'm out gaming with this gun, often my opponents come to me after the game and they're like, how did you hit me from that far? And I'm like, just shoot the gun yourself, bro, and you'll see. And them themselves answer their own question. They're like, rah, it's a DMR. But because the barrel, you see, because it looks like a standard size M4, like if you genuinely take it in, it looks like a standard size M4. People are genuinely shocked because most DMRs have the length of a sniper barrel, whereas this is long. I will say that it genuinely does have some length to it, but it's not as long as a standard DMR would be. So it's like all the goodies of a DMR with none of the problems. Plus I have an auto switch for them sticky situations. So yeah, because I've had mates say to me, why do you keep flooding money into this one compared to all the others? But if you notice, like, even if you follow my journey on the channel, I have had a lot of M4s, but I don't feel like M4s have necessarily treated me well. Even the ones that I really did like the UTRs or the Double Eagle 557s or 556s, they didn't treat me well. I treated them well. I've done a lot of programming and upgrades and accessories and attachments and this and that, but they just didn't really treat, well, they did in the end, but it just took so much to get there. Whereas I feel like this has kind of been the opposite. Like, listen to that, sounds lovely. She's now at a place where hopefully she will do the 60 meters comfortably, because I've given her the bucking that will hop, that bucking hops anything up to, I think it's 5.0. So realistically now she's basically a sniper, like she's a sleeper sniper rifle, because she'll hop anything up to 5.0s. She normally shoots 2.0s. I would love to see what she's gonna do with a she normally shoots 2.8, sorry. I would love to see what she's gonna do with a 2.8. I'm going out on a game day for one of our private games. I'm gonna use her first 2 or 3 games just to see what she's like, what distance, all these things. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. I'm just excited, to be fair, because for me, when people talk about budget builds that outperform great guns, for me, out of everything I've probably built to date M4 wise, I think this and my combat machine are my 2 proudest inventions, just because essentially I've got something that will make £1,000 gun look silly. Very much so. And with the bucking and what I've just done to it, in theory, the little variances I was complaining about should now be eradicated. So fingers crossed that's all done. Plus she looks pretty. Plus I can see with the magnifier if I'm hitting them shots from that distance. She's just pretty, she does the job. Yeah, man. I think I'm done with this one. Obviously, like I said, there's stuff like I want to do like the motor and things like that, but I'm not ready for that. Like, I feel like I probably should game her for maybe another 6 to 9 months before I change something like that, because she performs, like, and even the motor, like, when I'm saying I think I should do that, I'm not saying that like it's an upgrade that I need to do, or else I would want to buy another gun. Like the other guns I want to buy, it's just more because the game is moving on. The game is getting at a stage where certain things that we used to class as upgrades are now stock, like programmable gearboxes. So I've seen things that are DMRs like her, that stock come with the programmable gearbox. So, you know, sometimes you see something and be like, oh, that would be nice to have binary or whatnot. But I like the discipline of having this gun because it's a really good build. It's affordable, she pretty, and she does the job. Like I said before, I was getting comfortably 40 meters. Like I could hit them shots at 40 meters like they were 10 meters. Whereas now with something that can hop up to 4s, if I can zero out something like a weight maybe like 3s or 3.2s, if I could zero that out, maybe I could just about be getting like them 60-70 meter shots. Like if I could get 60-70 meters out of this, I'd be very pleased with that, because it means that I could literally just park up in a bush and pick them off from distances, which sometimes is nice. Like my only other alternative loadout wise is pistols, and don't get me wrong, it's the same. I can pick them off with that, but you do have to do a lot of running where it's a pistol, and accuracy is kind of all over. Well, it depends. Since I've done the upgrades, accuracy is not all over the place, but still, with a pistol at 60 meters compared to something you can shoulder, it's a very different experience, especially when you're up against multiple opponents at that kind of distance. So yeah, man, without further ado, I don't want to chew off you guys' ears, waste any of you guys' time, but I just wanted to kind of spend some airsoft time with you guys and basically just walk you through my build, not stunt on anyone, but just say like there's cheap ways to get great outcomes. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think this particular weapon is a great example. So why years later I still own this one, because I just feel like when I think about an AG that does it all, yeah, I think the only thing I would have said about this is I'd have loved to have a variant of this where maybe I've just got a shorter rail, something about this size, a shorter inner barrel and a shorter outer barrel as well, because if I had a variance that I could switch this out and CQB this, oh my, people would be pissed. I've CQB'd this at this length probably about 6 times, and I won't say I was the top killer of the night, but I would definitely say I held my own. There was points that I was the guy pushing. Now, how am I pushing in the CQB location with a DMR? Do you get what I'm saying? So she's great, man. She's genuinely great, and I'm not just saying it because it's my gun. She's a great gun, but I am aware that now I've bragged her up, and yeah, that quantum bucking needs to get me that 60 meters, and I want it comfortably. Like, you know, when you can hit a tree, blam, first shot, blam, second shot. There might be one variance out of the 10, but you're hitting it like that. That's comfy for me, because that's a DMR that I probably won't even want to upgrade, because if you upgrade a motor in a weapon like that, you basically have a bully weapon. And like I said, I like to play airsoft in a way that I am forced to use my tools correctly. I don't want to be, I've seen players like, and I don't knock them, it is what it is, everyone has to walk their own road, but I don't want to walk the road that I'm a lazy ass player who's quite trash and I win a lot of games just because I've got a mad expensive gun. I want to be one of those guys that it is partly because of my gameplay. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Yeah, you want a weapon that's reliable, because you want, when you aim up and take that shot, it goes where you want it to go. But at the same time, I also want to, it's why I went for something that's metal framed, part polymer, but most of the frame is metal, because I want the realism. I want to understand when you're in that live situation where you do have to shoulder something quick, can I still do that with a metal frame quick? And to be fair, I've been using it so long that even now as I pick it up, it's like my brain was expecting the gun to be heavier than it is. And I think that's a good training mechanism, because you see, when I'm out with a pistol, that's why I can run around for 20, 30, 40 minutes. I might have to catch a breather every so often, but that's why I can do it now, because I've normalized CQB and something like this. So when I'm out with just like a little pistol cutting through, it's a lot more easier. So yeah, man, without further ado though, I'm gonna say peace, people. Love for having me. I know I'm genuinely tired. It is now probably like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. Y'all best give me a like and share for that, cause boy, the things I do to make this channel work, which I love, cause without y'all give me motivation to do this stuff. But yeah, man, like I said, peace, people. Thank you for having me, and that was another video with Yardman 9, and yeah, that's my DMR, my personal DMR build. Deuces.